Hello, my name is Dr. Moreland. I'm the principal of Pritchett Elementary School.
I'm Julie Cummings. I'm the assistant principal at Pritchett Elementary School.
And I'm Chris Trashevsky. I'm the nurse at Pritchett School.
And the purpose of this video is to share with you all the safety and health precautions we've put into place to welcome your child back to Pritchett School for in-person learning. So to go through this presentation, we wanted to try to think about what a typical day would look like, from dropping your child off to picking your child up at the end of the day. So there's something that we need all families to do every single morning before your child comes to school. And that means we need you to self-certify that your child is able to come to the building. So in that addendum booklet you received, there are 5 questions that we need you to go through every morning. And after those 5 questions, there's a symptoms checklist. We need you to go through this every morning as well. If you answer yes to any of these, we cannot accept your child at the building. Your child would need to stay home. Now, let's talk about how you actually self-certify. In your pickup material that you will receive or have received on February 5th, there's an acrylic button that was in the pickup box. This acrylic button, I played around with it. You're going to need a pin, and there's a little hole on the button. You need to pop that open each morning and put in one of the stickers that we supplied in the student pickup box, and you self-certify by recording the date, today's date. So for example, on February 16th, I'm self-certifying my child has none of those symptoms. And then you put the button together. All people who are taking children off the bus and people who are escorting children out of the cars, this is the first thing we're looking for. If we do not see this button without the correct date, your child will not be admitted in the building right away. We're going to have to call you. So let's talk about student arrival. If your child is taking the bus, we want you to know that all children will have an assigned seat so we can spread children the best we can in the bus. And we will take each child's temperature before they are allowed off the bus. We will also be checking for that button. If your child doesn't have that button, we will be contacting the parent to verify that you have self-certified your child is able to come to the building. This is very important. This is something you cannot neglect. You have to self-certify every single morning. If you're driving your child to the building, you come to our main entrance, and there will be a line of cones, as you can see here. Basically, you're going to get into line, and one of our outdoor supervisors will greet you at your car. You stay in your car, roll down your window, and then we will take your child's temperature in the car, and we will also be looking for that button. Because it is cold outside, and because we're doing everything to protect everybody in the building, we want you to know that one of the supervisors will not be opening car doors. If your child needs help out of the car, we need the parent or the guardian to get out of the vehicle and open the car door so your child can enter the building. Once the child has been had the temperature taken in the car and we verified the button, your child will then enter right here at the front entrance of the building. Our school is ready and prepared to welcome your child. Our building, we have dots throughout the building. They've been measured out 6 feet apart, so that way we can ensure that we have that 6 feet of social distancing throughout the hallways, and children will be escorted at all times when they walk through the building. Ms. Yashewski, would you like to talk about masks?
Sure. Masks will be required for all staff and students entering the building. And the basic thing you need to know is that you should have an extra mask in your child's backpack, and they should not have the vents on it. And there are no gaiters allowed for mask. Please look through these requirements, and that will help explain the requirements. I'm sure your kids are used to wearing the masks.
Thank you. Mrs. Cummings.
Yeah, so in our classrooms, we have our student desks, and they are all 6 feet apart. You'll also see here, each student has plexiglass dividers on their desk and a dot under it, which is a visual representation for us to see that they are 6 feet and know if a desk is moved, so we can move it right back to where it needs to be. Your child's teacher will be communicating what materials need to go to and from school. Everyone needs to come with their iPad to school, and that iPad needs to be fully charged each day. Please make sure that you are cleaning your child's iPad as well. We recommend that Clorox wipes be used in order to do this.
If I may, real quick, we still will be using the iPad, as you can tell, for a little bit each day, and there will not be opportunities to plug in the iPad at school. That's why we ask it comes fully charged each and every day.
So the first is bathrooms. Each classroom teacher has scheduled bathroom breaks throughout the day. Bathrooms are cleaned periodically throughout the day, and mask and movement breaks. So teachers are going to determine when they are taking mask and movement breaks. We do want our mask and movement breaks to take place outside, with adequate fresh air and just extra space in between students. Because of this, please send your child to school with boots. Students will not be able to play in the snow during these breaks, so do not send your child with snow pants, only boots. As far as snacks go, we ask that you send water with your child to school each day. And other than a lunch, please do not send your child with snacks unless medically necessary.
And on that note, the water fountains have been shut off. So again, please make sure your child brings a water bottle. If your child would like lunch, a hot lunch provided by the school, that is fine. That will happen on February 22nd. That is when your child will be able to order food from the school. All lunches will take place in the child's classroom.
In our school, we do have an isolation room. So if a student has a symptom that's related to COVID-19, the teacher will notify the school office and the school nurse. The nurse will then go to the isolation room with the child. Our nurse Chris, will be notifying parents that the student has symptoms and will need to be picked up along with the return to in-person learning date. Students needing to see the nurse for non-COVID symptoms will be seen in the nurse's office, not in the isolation room.
I'm sure you all know COVID symptoms. You can look through the list, and children do have different symptoms than adults. But these are the symptoms, and basically if they have a fever, sore throat, or any abdominal pain, those are the big pediatric symptoms. We ask you to be alert to these symptoms, and I will be calling you with the child's symptoms. And we do have the Binax now, nasal swabs, and that will be done when you arrive at the building, and a consent form will be signed to have the nasal swab done.
Thank you.
If a student has COVID symptoms, what happens? behind the scenes? Well, the nurse goes to the classroom to move that child to the observation or isolation room. The nurse, like I mentioned, will notify the parent or parents to take that child home. The classroom will be relocated for the remainder of the day. At that point, Dr. Moreland or myself will contact families of students in that specific classroom to come to offer the choice to pick up their students from the building. The classroom will be deeply cleaned as soon as possible that day. The class will then return to their original classroom 48 hours or 2 days later.
See a typo. That was my fault. I apologize. Boy, I thought I was perfect there. This is so important. Nurse Chris, would you please speak to this?
If your child is sent home due to symptoms, you will be requested, even though children at another building in the district, you will be requested to pick up your other children too. And you could read these qualifications. We are asking that the children do stay home for 10 calendar days from the first onset of symptoms. And in order to return, they must be fever-free without fever-reducing medication for 24 hours. And these guidelines are on our website.
And please know they are all aligned with the health department and what the CDC is recommending. Now let's talk about student dismissal. What we want you to know is that if your child is taking the bus, your child's teacher will be walking the children to the bus and putting each child on the bus. Grade levels will be dismissed one at a time. So we'll start with third grade, followed by second and first. Kindergarten is a little bit different since their end of day happens at 11:30. Kindergarten will just dismiss as a grade level itself. So what happens if your child is being picked up by car? Well, inside the building, we have locations marked for the children to wait for pickup. For example, our third grade pickup students will be sitting in our gymnasium, which has been spaced out 6 feet apart. When you come to pick up your child, in your student supply pickup box, there's a paper in there. This is the pickup sign. We need you to write down the teacher's name, the grade level, and of course, the name of your child. Once the supervisor outside sees that sign that you'll be holding up in the driver's side window, that supervisor outside will then communicate inside the building, letting the inside supervisor know it's okay to release the child. Doing it this way keeps the children inside where they're not outside and cold, and it helps maintain that 6-foot distance that is so important.
So like Dr. Moreland was saying, the first thing you're going to do when you pull up is hold up that sign when a staff member approaches your vehicle. Once the first graders are called by name, they will exit through our main entrance. When we call a second or third grade student, they will exit out of the doors that Dr. Moreland is pointing out, which is also located by our PE or gymnasium.
We really need you to be patient with this. There will only be one lane of traffic. We understand that some people can get a little impatient. I just need to impress upon you, you can't be in a hurry when you're coming to pick up your child. It might take a little bit longer than you would expect, especially the first couple days, couple weeks. So please be patient. And it's really just a matter of follow the leader. You're not going to be able to leave the parking lot until the car or cars ahead of you have left. When you leave our parking lot, please make a right-hand turn on Horatio. And our buses are going to be lined up in our side circle like they always are. Please do not park in front of the exit. You will basically be blocking the buses from getting out. Please do not park along here. Okay. Oh, Mrs. Cummings, this is you.
As always, please make sure that you are practicing and teaching your children to practice the 3 W's. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and watch your distance.
We understand that this is a great deal of information to take care, to process. That's why we wanted to put this in a video format so you could watch or rewatch any portion you would like. I want you to know that Mrs. Cummings and I, we are always available for questions. If you have specific questions about COVID-19 symptoms and you feel like you need to reach out to our wonderful nurse, Nurse Chris, please contact the school and ask to speak to our nurse. She'd be more than happy to answer your questions as well. We're so looking forward to having children back in our building. Have a wonderful day and take care. Be safe, be well.